This is the Surly Grognards for June 19th, 2017. And this is Peter Bowman, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Eric Carlson. How are you doing tonight, Eric?
I'm doing all right.
Most excellent. So, it's been a while since we've done Grognards.
It has.
Just things getting in the way here and there. Also, there was one
happens.
week where we didn't really have we didn't really have anything we wanted to talk about, and Eric wasn't feeling well, so
Yeah.
seemed like a good week to take off.
Good reason to skip, yeah.
And then the week after that, we had 3 Minute Anime. So that's another reason. Yeah, anyways.
Yep.
But this week, we have topics. We have actual topics. One
Shocking,
of
I know.
which... I know. It's fuck. Who are we? What have we done with ourselves?
Yeah, no shit.
Well, to make it up for it, we're going to start off with a what have we been up to in gaming recently sort of bullshittery. But that's actually kind of one of our topics.
Yes.
So, Eric, yesterday, from what I understand, you did something you've not done in quite a long time, gaming-wise.
I actually played Warhammer 40,000.
Dear Lord, what happened?
I know. Well, the new edition dropped.
Right.
And I've been watching it and liking what I've been seeing so far.
Okay.
Plus the gaming club that I've been playing Shadow War with did an event. So I figured I'll cram what orcs I can in my case and show up and play a few games and try out the new edition.
Okay.
I actually enjoyed it. Which is a shame because my roommate Andrew, who had been playing 40K, did not. Part of the problem is the one game that Andrew got involved. Well, I talked briefly before the game set up with his opponent, who's another orc player. He was like, "Yeah, I've been looking at like various Gonzo lists also, and I decided to do commandos with a couple big mobs of boys and a weird boy for teleporting, and just see how those shenanigans work." Turns out those shenanigans are exactly what you do to piss off a Dark Eldar player.
Oh.
Lots of shit appearing out of nowhere and charging turn 1, and then not being able to actually get away from them because they're fucking everywhere because there's 30 of the fuckers.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So I felt bad for him. I, meanwhile, played 2 games against a Death Guard player with their new Plague Zombies, who are the best tar pit I've ever seen outside of Skaven Slaves.
That's actually saying something.
Yeah. Well, they're relatively easy to kill, except for like the fact they have every time they take a wound and there's multiple damage. So rules now, so like you can do like die 3 damage with their power fist type of deal.
Okay.
For every wound they take, they roll a die, and on a 5-up they ignore it because they're plague zombies, effectively.
Sure. Okay.
And every time they kill something, they get a new plague zombie in the unit.
Oh, okay.
And the Nurgle Psyker has a power that gives them provides them target unit with a -1 to hit makes their opponents have a -1 to hit. So my old biker list hated that because they certainly had the DACA, but not the accuracy to thin out the big mob. And they're not dangerous at all in close combat. I want to make that clear. They can't hit worth shit and are only like strength 3. So they're not actually dangerous, but dice will bear out in their favor every once in a while, and they'll get more.
As you said, they're a tar pit.
Right, and they don't ever run away. They're immune to morale because they have a rule literally called Nihilist. I love and hate these guys. They are exactly the kind of unit I want in my army, and I hate that it's not in it.
Nice.
Wow. I discovered that my war boss on a bike can't roll worth shit.
Okay.
Seriously! 2s to wound to sort of lever open the Chaos Lord and Terminator armor. What happens? 3 1s and a 2.
Nice. That's stellar dice rolling.
Yep. He just could not roll. Basically, I figured out that all bikes are fun, but not necessarily good. I was really missing having a truck to just shove down something's throat to tie it up for a turn or two.
Right.
Because I could not risk doing that with the bikes because, well, it's a whole lot of DACA and pretty good melee, but if they don't kill their target, they're just sort of sitting there waiting to get their head stomped in. So,
all right. So, first impressions mechanically of 8th Ed, though.
First impressions mechanically,
Yeah,
it's a simple system with a lot of depth, which is something I really like, particularly in close combat.
Okay, cool.
When you build your army, you can build it using certain templates, and there's templates for any kind of flavor of army you want. So, right there in the main rulebook, so no problem there for doing your wacky theme lists. And you gain command points if you build it. Like, if you make sure it's from the same fucking faction, and you build it according to the appropriate templates, you get command points.
Okay.
And you can spend these on things like reroll 1 die in a phase, automatically pass a morale check, and the third one is interrupt the flow of combat, because chargers always go first, and then you alternate choosing who goes, starting with whoever's turn it is.
Okay.
So you can, like, once the first charger has attacked, you can then interrupt, spend command points to interrupt, including other chargers, so that your stuff doesn't get eaten.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which is a mechanic I like that dicked over my roommate, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Well, because he got a truncated version of the rules to look at, and missed the whole command point thing.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so he did not know that was a thing before it happened to him.
Oh.
Basically, from what I was told by both the players involved in his game, was that he was bogged down in the green blob, managed to make a hole, tried to exploit the hole, and then command points are spent to interrupt the flow of his charges.
Oh.
So,
Well,
yeah.
Well, now he knows.
Now he knows. Unfortunately, it left a bit of a sour taste in his mouth, but he's
Yeah.
also not damning the whole game on one, the whole system on one game.
Well, yeah.
But I totally understand the sour taste in his mouth.
Oh, no. I totally get the sour taste, but it's knowing Andrew, it's going to be something he'll bounce back from.
Yeah.
And I imagine he'll start thinking of ways he can take advantage of the command points.
Yes. Absolutely. Other things I like, deep strike / reserves are no longer random. They happen at the end of whatever movement, at the end of your movement phase, whatever turn you want, including the first.
Interesting.
Which means you can actually plan around the motherfuckers, which I like.
That's good. Interesting.
Yeah. I enjoyed the 2 games I had. I would like to play against people that aren't Nurgle to see what happens. I want to dick around with trucks more. And I need to figure out a way to transport my Killicans Dreadnought.
Right. All right. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else has been going on gaming-wise? So, before we do that, though, just a general sort of early thumbs up, though, overall for it?
Yeah, overall, early thumbs up. It's early on. I haven't... All of 2 games, Orcs versus Death Guard, I can't give an objective view of the balance.
No, totally.
But it was a fun game. People seem to know what was going. It was a fun game. There was stuff going on. I enjoyed both those games. There's also power points versus actual just points. Each unit has a power rating, and the models cost points. You build your army. You choose whether you're doing power. You choose this with your opponent, obviously. Either power or points. Points offers a lot more fiddliness and a lot more depth in army building. If you're just there for a pickup game, you can write up something with power for in 5 minutes.
Okay, I was about to ask, why on earth would you have 2 different point value systems? But that explains it. It's
quick pickup games. The other one is for really concise, in-depth army building, and because I like both of those things.
Right? No, I get that actually. It's the PowerPoints are there for. Okay, we want to play. I'm bored. Let's play a game. 50 points. Go.
Exactly.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. And,
that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Yeah, and 50 power is roughly equivalent to 1,000 points. So.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit personally, I know I personally would vastly prefer the more sort of intricate point value stuff because that's just the way my brain works.
Sure, no, and I agree. That's usually when I'm building an army, I prefer that too. Especially considering if it's not between two friendly opponents, power is rife for all kinds of abuse.
Yeah,
because
well,
it's like the upgrades are just take the upgrades on the unit, whatever.
Right.
As opposed to paying for your las cannons and power fists.
Right. No, again, the full point system sounds like, in general, it allows for more granular effects.
Absolutely.
Which I personally think in wargaming is very important, but I also totally grok. I just want to fucking play.
Right.
So
I don't want to spend an hour needling over a list and figuring out the points values down to a micron. I just want to play a fucking game.
Yep,
Let's do 50 or 100 power. Boom,
I
done.
totally get that.
And I am both of these people. So.
Fair enough. All right. Let's see. What else has been going on gaming-wise for us since we last did a show? Star Wars game has met multiple weeks in a row for once.
Yeah, no shit.
The fuck? 3 in a row.
That's weird. Yeah.
I'm still liking the using feng shui for the rules.
I am too.
The one thing I still haven't gotten down to working out exactly how I want to really more codify it, what I want to do with it, is space combat.
Right, we haven't done a lot of that, partially because I think you've been avoiding it.
What? No, I would never do that because I haven't codified it. No, not at all.
Luckily, none of us are fire jocks, so...
Yeah, Nick's character's about as close as you get to that, but...
Yeah.
I need to codify something a bit more for it. Just not sure how I want to handle it yet, but I will have a way to do it eventually.
I'm kind of lamenting the character interactions between words and my character, but I'm not sure how to fix it while staying in character.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Basically, what it comes down to is Word's character just needs to say "I'm sorry" and let him rant at her for a little while, and then things will probably go back to normal. But I don't see Word's character doing that without prodding from other people either and staying in character, because Twins is a stubborn bitch and Vorkos is an equally stubborn asshole.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, it's interesting. But both you and Ward are aware of the situation. I mean, it's...
Yeah, we're both aware of it. It's just trying to figure out how to do it and stay in character.
Yep. Oh, God. All right. Other than that, I mean, the summer event for Star Trek Online's happening.
Yep.
Been derping around with that a little bit. The new ship looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not... It's not my type of ship. I'm going to get it anyway because free ship.
Yep.
Maybe eventually I'll decide I like carriers.
Well, you should try it out. You should try flying it and see if it works for you. I mean,
right.
It won't. I'm certain, but I'm certain. I haven't looked carefully at its stats, but let me take a quick look at it just so I can confirm my initial thought. But my gut feeling is you will think it is undergunned and not nearly maneuverable enough.
Almost certainly. It's pretty much how they work.
Because it's a carrier, and that's what they do.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got a turn rate of 6.5.
Yeah, it's more maneuverable than I would have thought, but still sluggish and
It's slightly more maneuverable than a Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the classic, 3/3 weapon sweep because it's a carrier. It's a good ship. It's engineering heavy, which is odd for a carrier, but at any rate, yeah, it's a really cool looking ship.
Yeah, it is a very cool looking ship.
But yeah, I'm sort of dabbling in that. I started playing ESO again.
Cool. I should, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yep. Boy, at some point we should work out a night to just actually play ESO.
Right. I also need to make sure ESO just doesn't fucking crash after an hour like it had been for a while.
Yeah, that seems. I remember that, and that seems subpar.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been a few patches. Maybe they figured it out.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah. Other than that, Star Wars. I just started working. I've just this past Thursday, my Thursday crew and I just finished the character creation and sort of world generation stuff for the Fate campaign we're going to be trying out.
Oh, nice.
So we'll see how that goes. We sort of
Yeah,
started.
Fate's a system I've always been vaguely interested in.
It's neat.
Yeah.
I think I like it, but it's a little early yet. I like everything. There's a lot of things about it that just sort of go, yes, I really like this. Because it's definitely on the sort of narrativist side of things. It's fairly
Right.
rules light, but the rules that it has seem solid and mechanically sound.
Yeah, that's pretty. One of those simplicity with depth.
Yeah, it
Type
doesn't
of
have.
deal.
Yeah, but like almost all the depth is tied into sort of narrative things, which I think is actually a good thing for the type of game it is.
Yes.
Should be interesting to see how it goes, though. I will say more when we've actually played an actual full session as opposed to we started the first adventure last week because we need to finish up the last few details, and then I was like, okay, and now I've got basic ideas for what I want to do, but I'm not prepped to do a full session. But we also had a bunch of stuff we wanted to finish up before that. So overall, though, my initial impressions, which are very, very brief, are it's neat.
Cool.
I really do dig the sort of cooperative nature of world building that ends up happening because of it. Because it's designed to tie the characters together and in with the campaign.
Right. Yeah, it's something I've seen several other systems try to do, and never with a great deal of success.
All right, actually, I'll quickly go over exactly how it does it, very quickly. Basically, characters in Fate are broken into two sort of categories. They're two things they've got. One of which are their aspects, and one of their skills. Skills are really, really straightforward. You have effectively, you have a little pyramid where you have one skill at +4, two skills at +3, 3 at +2, and 4 at +1. And then every other skill you get that's available for the campaign, you have +0.
Okay.
And you roll the Fate dice, which are four 6-sided dice with different markings, which you can easily simulate just by they're D3s basically. So you've got it's basically the Fate dice are basically plus blank minus. So you roll 4 of them, add up the pluses, subtract the minuses. That's your die. That's the total for the die roll. So it's like if you roll 2 pluses and a minus and 3 blanks. Oh, sorry. If you roll 2 pluses, a blank, and a minus, that's a +1. Really simple. So you can easily simulate that by basically rolling, regular d6s, and 5s and 6s are pluses. 3s and 4s are blanks. 1s and 2s are minuses. And basically you make it to when you roll your skill roll, you roll your Fate dice and add the appropriate skill. And it's up against a difficulty of some sort. Really easy. So the aspects are basically what aspects are. They're facets of your character that the players end up defining. And aspects are supposed to be sort of double-edged. So they're the way they work is you can either invoke one of your own aspects in a positive sense to give yourself a benefit. You spend a fate point, and you basically say you're invoking the fact that you're, whatever, I don't aspect. I won't go off an example yet because you'll understand why. But you invoked an aspect in a positive sense. You pay a fate point, and you can either reroll all your dice on a check, or you can give yourself +2.
Okay. Cool.
Very simple, very straightforward. And you can invoke multiple aspects on a single roll, but you can't invoke the same aspect more than once.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Other side of the aspect is that the Game Master can compel you using your aspects to draw you into situations or to sort of force you to do things you wouldn't necessarily do, but it makes sense for the character. And in return, when the GM compels you, they give you a fate point.
I dig this a lot.
Right. So
This is pretty awesome.
Right, exactly. So all your aspects have to be things that can be interpreted either as a benefit in some ways that are beneficial for you, and in some ways that the GM can use it to rope you into things that you, the player, might not otherwise normally want to do because it makes sense for your character. So they're both advantages and disadvantages simultaneously. And you start with 5 aspects. There are the 2 that you define completely on your own, which are your high concept, which is it's what you are. So it's like I don't know, just like it's sort of mostly sort of generally a positive one. Infamous swordsman would be a great example.
Right. You can invoke it when you're trying to stab someone,
or you're trying to intimidate somebody with your reputation.
Right. Or if you're like moving in like the duelist circles, you could use it for like a social thing.
Right. Exactly. But
someone's going to be fucking challenging you, or you're going to have to defend your honor in some way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The second one you define is the one which is mostly negative, which is your trouble. This is what generally gets you, So an example from the book was manners like an ox. Again, there might be situations where you might be able to creatively come up with a way to make that positive. So great. The other 3 aspects are actually no. So there are 3 more aspects you get. The first one you get is everyone after you've done the early stuff. Everyone sort of describes their character's first adventure.
Okay.
And you get an aspect from that. So you have a little aspect you draw from that. Then after that, each player then picks another character's first adventure and ties themselves into the adventure. Either some way they may be assisted, maybe they were a complication, what have you, and that's where they get their second aspect from.
Okay.
And the third aspect is then you pick another character's first adventure and tie yourself into that one. And that gets you your third aspect. So you're basically tied to 2 other characters, sort of, beginning stories, and those define who you are and the relationships with the group.
I dig it. Okay.
I really like this.
Yeah.
It's really, really clever. But again, it's a little time consuming. It takes time, and it means that you really need to have the group together to create your characters. But it means that everybody knows who everybody's characters are to the most degree, and it sort of pre-establishes intergroup relations, which is it's all really neat. And then you start with 3 points of refresh, which is how your refresh stat which starts at the base of 3, is the number of fate points you start each session with. That's the minimum number of fate points you start each session with, I should say.
Okay.
So if you earned more during a session and you're above 3 starting your next session, you have that many, but you don't get 3 more on top of that. But if you're below 3, you refresh up to 3.
Okay.
And then you also can define what are called stunts. And I think if I remember correctly, you get 3 stunts for free. And these stunts are things you can do with your skills that make you special, basically.
Okay.
And you can get up to 2 more and you can get up to 5, but every stunt you get beyond the first 3 costs you a point of refresh. You must have at least 1 point of refresh, though.
Cool. Okay.
Otherwise. So yeah, that's the basics. That's the very basics of making characters in Fate. It's actually kind of neat.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could have fun with a group just making characters.
Yes. In the rulebook, they point out that character creation is gameplay.
Right.
You are playing the game when you're making your characters, and they are completely right when they say that. Having done it, it's like, yeah, that's. I really dig it. Yeah. At any rate, so that's what I've been up to. The other thing I've been up to ties into our actual topic for the rest of the show.
Mm.
Which is not last week, but the week before. I finally got around because it's finally up on Netflix. I finally watched Doctor Strange, the movie,
I'm shocked.
starring Benedict Cumberbatch, which was a movie I've been saying for a long while that I want to watch this movie because, let's see, I'm a big Doctor Strange fan and always have been.
Right.
Doctor Strange
is awesome.
right. B, the Marvel movies are generally very good. C, oh my god, Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange, really?
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Good casting.
And then D, okay, my initial reaction is how the fuck are they going to get all the weird, surreal, bizarre shit going on that goes on in a Doctor Strange comic in a movie? But I saw what they did with the Thor movie and how they actually managed to pull off Asgard, so...
Yeah. It looks like a Jack Kirby drawing, but not stupid in live action.
Which I thought was impossible, honestly, before I watched Thor.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Kirby is an amazing comic artist. He pretty much defined the look of comic book art. But I can't imagine trying to make any of his stuff look not retarded in live action.
And somehow Marvel did it.
Yes.
The people
That's
who did the
good art design.
Oh my god! The people who did the art, people involved in art design and set design for Thor, for the stuff in Asgard were like seriously, standing ovation for that. That's just wow,
absolutely.
And they did it again in Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Holy shit! That's
the
a pretty
whole
movie.
Inception thing for like the alternate reality with the great stuff.
Oh my god, that was. If nothing else, before we get into talking about the nitty gritty, I just want to say flat out, this was a gorgeous movie.
Absolutely.
Holy crap! It was shot well, and the way things looked was just so wow. All right, into the sort of nitty gritty of the movie. It's Doctor Strange origin story because it's not literally the first Doctor Strange movie. There was one in the 70s that was
yeah. I actually haven't seen it, but I know it exists, and I'm sort of like, huh.
It's not the worst movie ever.
It's not even the worst Marvel movie ever. That would be the Captain America movies.
The old Captain America movies, yes.
Yep, with not the new Captain America movies, not the ones from this century.
No, Red Brown.
Yep, Red Brown. Terrible, terrible movies.
Kind of hilarious, but really bad.
Captain America doesn't actually throw a punch during the movie.
No.
And is, for some reason, a hippie.
Yeah. At any rate, but Doctor Strange. Wow! They nailed Stephen Strange in the writing. Just his beginning, just colossal arrogance.
Yep.
Oh. I mean, again, you're
it's
asking
all about rubbing his skills in people's face,
but subtly too. It wasn't like he was just. Again, if you're gonna write a character like this, there are very few actors who can pull it off and not seem like
complete assholes,
complete
unlikable
assholes.
jerks.
There was still a quarter of him that was not a terrible person.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of like watching Benedict Cumberbatch do House.
Yeah, it was a lot like that, except less unlikable. Because House is
sort of charmingly unlikable, and intentionally so.
Right. Well, the whole point behind House is he's an asshole.
Yep.
I mean, he is he is not a nice guy. He is not a good person. He is a brilliant doctor with very few other redeeming features. He has them.
Right.
But
he actually does care about his patients and getting shit done. He's just a colossal dick and assumes the worst of everyone around him.
Right. And no, and given the
Stephen
nature of
Strange does not assume the worst of everyone around him.
no, he does. Now he's not as motivated on and helping his patients as House is, for instance.
Right.
I mean, a large part of it is basically, is selfish.
Yes. Proving his skill and capabilities to others around him
Yep.
is his primary motivator. Starting out, obviously. He does go through his character arc and become not a dick.
Yes. I mean, his two main motivators are literally, as you said, proving himself and also learning new things. I mean, he is definitely a rapacious intellectual.
Yes, he devours new techniques and new literature on his chosen field, and he just likes to learn stuff.
Yes. So, yeah, and there's just something completely engaging about him, despite the fact that he is in many ways a colossal prick.
Yep.
Most ways. And no small part of that is that Cumberbatch nails the character.
Yep.
And just...
We've had a lot of practice with the Sherlock.
Sherlock is simultaneously more and less unlikable. They're very different characters.
Yes.
I mean,
but you can totally draw on his. Yeah, he can totally draw on his experience playing Sherlock as a template for a starting point.
Yes.
For Strange.
But yeah, the big difference between the two is that Holmes, Cumberbatch's Holmes is a functional sociopath.
Right.
He's a high-functioning sociopath, and Strange is very definitively not. He's a dick.
Yes. He's a dick, but yes.
He's a colossal, arrogant asshole, but he's not a sociopath. He has empathy. He just chooses not to use it most of the time early on. And he buries his feelings under a lot of stuff. It's a large part of it, honestly. And then he has the big accident. No big surprise.
Right.
It's part of
no real
okay.
spoilers
If you're not aware of Doctor Strange's origin story, brilliant surgeon has an accident, hands are crippled, goes to the Orient to study with mystics to learn how to heal his hands. Discovers that he has discover that he has massive talent for magic, learns magic, becomes a defender of Earth. That's the general arc of Doctor Strange.
Well, one of the things I like about this version of magic in Marvel Universe is that it's very much implied. Yeah, anyone can do it. It's just most people, technically anyone can do it, but few people have the I don't want to say mental fortitude because there's a certain degree of mental agility for it.
I could see that.
That seems to be the implication. It's like there's a certain degree of maintaining control while letting go of control and all this other wrapping your head around esoteric, arcane weirdness. And technically anyone can do it, but you have to be able to figure that shit out.
Yeah. It's well, the big thing is that it's not just like your traditional sort of oogie boogie magic. People don't really understand it. The people who use magic mostly understand it.
Yep.
It's not just an art, I think is the way to phrase it. It's both an art and a science to a large degree.
Yes. It's a craft.
That's a better way of putting it. Yes.
It's a craft. It is. There are certain ways of doing it, but there's plenty of room for flair and style. And yeah. It's like making a vase as opposed to painting a picture.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So yeah, I agree with you. I really dug that. And so
yeah.
So he has his accident. His hands are wrecked. He spends almost all his money trying desperately to find ways to heal his hands because without his hands, he can't be a surgeon. With his hands crippled the way they are, he can't be a surgeon anymore.
Right, and that's largely how he defined himself, also.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the point where he
Like, I
drives
was the
away.
best surgeon. That was entirely how I defined myself.
Just he drives away his girlfriend, who was sort of hanging on, with him just despite his, outward
Douchiness.
assholery,
Right.
because she knew deep down he did care about her, but he drives her away because he's that frustrated and that unwilling to accept outside help, really, without
Mm.
he can't let go of control. Is what it boils down to. He has to be in control as one of his driving traits at that point in his life.
Right. Which is his big hurdle when he goes to.
But yeah, he eventually
I
hears
forget
about
the name of the place he goes to. It's not Shangri-La. It's like I honestly can't remember.
Let me look it up. It's one of those things. I'm going to kick myself when I look it up. And
Yeah, it's going to be something obvious.
was it Shambhala? Maybe.
I
No,
don't think it was Shambhala. I think that's
that's something else.
it's Iron Fist.
God. Keep talking while I look this up.
So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really liked the oh, what's the word I'm looking for? The way they portray this place. It's clearly Asian, but it's not beating you over the head with it because it's in, I think, China or Taiwan or maybe.
It's in the Himalayas. I know that.
Yeah. So yeah, it could be in China or Tibet or
Yeah, I think Gavin chat something like Kamatage or something like that.
Kamatage. That's it. Yes, Kamatage. And there's a wide variety of people studying there of different ages. You never see children because obviously, but you very much get the impression that Kamatage is a place where people from all over the world come to learn about magic, and if you were to believe Tilda Swinton in this movie themselves.
Yes.
In fact, one of the way Stephen Strange learns about it is he finds out about a guy with a who had a severed spine who figured out how to walk again after going to Kamatage, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I learned just enough magic to be able to walk. That's how I do it. Go to Kamatage; they will teach you how to use magic to make your hands work."
Well, I love the fact that the guy looked like the guy who told him about the guy who had the injury.
Yep.
Well, it's like I'm remembering this, and I'm going to find the files of this guy for you, just to shove it at your goddamn face, you arrogant
Yes.
asshole. I love that bit, and he goes and talks to the injured guy, and like the
Yep.
guy basically tells him the deal. And the wonderful little touch about that is the guy originally came to Strange to see if Strange could help him, and Strange basically never even talked to him. It didn't get past his secretary.
Right.
And Strange is like,
Strange took one look at his file and went, "Well, that's impossible. Fuck it." That is impossible and not in an interesting way. Fuck it.
right. But yeah, so he arrives in Kamatage, and he's met by. He's basically there on his last. Like, he's spent everything he has at this point.
Yeah, he's dropped all his cash.
All he's got. The only thing.
While you see that he lives in luxury, it's dropped in the line. He's always spending his money. Money's just a means to an end to him.
Right. And so there at the end, he's basically the only thing of value he has left is the last of his really nice watches, which was a gift from his girlfriend.
Right.
We don't find that immediately.
He gets mugged because, of course, he gets mugged wandering around some city that he has no business being in, where he doesn't speak the language, and keeps on asking about a mythical place. Of course, the dude's gonna get mugged.
And so they try to take his watch, and he's saved by this guy. I've forgotten his name all of a sudden. Why have I forgotten his name?
Mordo.
Mordo, right? Yes. He's saved by this guy named Mordo, who basically had been hearing Strange talking about this, and watching him, and saves him from being mugged, and takes him to go see the Ancient One, because that's what he's there for.
Yep.
And he meets the Ancient One, and he and the Ancient One have this wonderful, wonderful conversation where she keeps pulling his chair out from underneath him effectively. In fact, literally at least once, I think.
Literally at least once. She's like, okay, look at this book. What does the card? What are they called? The fucking energy points on the body. What do chakras have to do with this? Okay, look at this. That's an EKG scan. Okay, now look at this. That's a map of the human nervous system. What's the same thing? What's the thing they all have in common? You're an idiot. No, they all see one part of the whole. You're still an idiot. And then she literally pushes him out of his body.
Yes.
And I love her response. She's like, yeah, fine, whatever. Poof.
And so basically she keeps showing him all this sort of crazy metaphysical stuff. And his reaction at the end of this, I love his reaction, which is, teach me!
Yes.
And her reaction is, throws him out the door.
Right.
Because he's way too arrogant. At least that's her read on him. And she cannot... Because they've just lost a very promising disciple to, his arrogance, basically. At least that's what she implies. And Mordo is basically his potential is incredible. He's probably the smartest person I've met. And I've only been talking to him for, how long? He can learn humility.
Yeah, he can learn humility. He can learn just about anything.
And, he's been sitting on your door this entire time. It's been, days at this point. He's not going away. Which says something about him.
Yeah.
If just that he's stubborn. So, thus begins his training, which in some aspects goes brilliantly, because, again, he's brilliant.
Right.
And he can wrap his brain around almost any concept.
Behind it, he gets easily. It's the actual application of it, of the knowledge he's picking up, because a big part of it is a certain degree of mental state of one's mental state, and he can't get past the need for control and understanding.
Right.
Which is kind of the exact opposite of what you need to do.
But yeah, so long story short, I don't want to go into the full plot deals, other than bad guys try to summon Dormammu.
Right.
Strange, fights bad guys.
Tried to feed the planet to Dormammu, because they believe that doing so will grant everyone everlasting life.
Secret. No, it won't.
No.
Dormammu is one of the big bad extra-dimensional devour everything beings out there.
Yeah. It's like him, Galactus, and Mephistopheles.
Yeah, he's
or
worse.
Mephisto.
He's worse.
And he's much worse than Mephisto and Galactus, because Mephisto isn't as strong, and Galactus just doesn't care enough.
Galactus is not evil. He just exists. And he was
Galactus doesn't care. There's no malice behind him. But there's a lot of malice behind Dormammu. He likes inflicting suffering.
Yes. Dormammu is evil.
Yes.
There's no arguing the point. So anyways, Strange, fights off the Ancient One's, former apprentice who's fallen to the dark side type thing. Gets his ass kicked for a while, learns some stuff, comes back, figures out a few tricks, reveals a few secrets, and pulls off one of the best fuck you moves to basically stave Dormammu off.
Yes.
Oh, okay. This is a spoiler if you have not yet watched Doctor Strange. So I'm going to say we're going to.
I adored this scene, by the way.
So so just warning, spoilers. We're going to talk about how he stops Dormammu for a little while, and then come back. So spoiler. Okay, we're starting to talk now. Right. So Strange. One of the things he figured out. He's basically found one of the books that his that the former apprentice stole stuff from, which involves some stuff involving manipulating time.
Right.
And so in the big confrontation with the evil apprentice, they're sitting there talking, and like he mentions that Dormammu, there's no time for Dormammu, and Strange's like, really, no time, you say? Got it. And he goes off into Dormammu's dimension to confront Dormammu directly. And what he does is he basically creates a time loop. So he goes up and says, Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Dormammu laughs at him and smites him. Time loop starts when Strange is killed. It rewinds back to the point where he arrives. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. And Dormammu has never really had a sense of time. And so this happens.
He exists entirely outside of it. It's not something that exists in his dimension.
Right. And so this happens a few times. Then Dormammu's like, wait, this happened before. I know this happened before. What's going on here? And Strange's like, aha. Well, you see, I brought some time with me, and it's looping indefinitely. Until you agree to bargain.
Zorch. Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
And Dormammu basically like, you can't win. No, but I can lose forever. We are stuck here until you bargain with me.
We're stuck here until you do what I want. I'm holding your existence hostage.
Which is such a quintessentially Doctor Strange thing to do.
Yes. No, I can't win. You're right there. But I can lose forever. and that's such a Doctor Strange quote, too.
Yes.
It's like, it's great.
Absolutely brilliant.
And I love that it's like the giant eldritch monstrosity from beyond space and time that will devour the world is annoyed into going away.
Well, it's not just that he's annoyed. He's stuck.
Yeah.
And he knows it. That's the thing. It's like, oh my god, I'm stuck forever. No! No! How did... What? And, that's, yeah. So, Strange... I absolutely love that. It was great.
Yeah.
And just the Dormammu, I've come to bargain is just... It's a wonderfully delivered line every time he says it. And they've got several scenes of, Dormammu killing Strange in different ways.
Yep. Like, he gets speared by crystalline blades. He gets literally torn apart. He gets absorbed by some sort of gelatinous monstrosity.
He gets completely energy warped.
Yep.
Just,
There are a few just good old-fashioned Bezorches.
Oh, God. At any rate, I loved that. And, the Ancient One dies before that, sort of one of the motivators for Strange, pulling off, going full out. And at any rate, we also it's revealed that the reason the Ancient One's been around for as long as she has been is she's using magic that is, draws on the dark dimension where Dormammu's from. The whole lack of time thing. And this is a crisis of conscience for Mordo.
Right.
Who is very, very much, letter of the law.
Yeah, the dude is lawful stupid, honestly. He's a very smart man, but he's completely inflexible.
Yes.
Which is why I say lawful stupid.
Yes.
And it's not like he doesn't have a point with the Ancient either, because she's clearly breaking all the laws she herself set down for selfish reasons, honestly, because she's terrified of dying.
Yep. Oh yeah, I mean,
she comes out and says, "Yeah, I justified it by I found someone worthy to succeed me, and 1,000 other things, just another couple of years to make sure things get lined up." And what it all boils down to is, I'm just scared of dying.
But she eventually lets go, which is
right. Which is what she's been telling Strange the whole time.
Yes. And she realizes it. It's a great scene when she realizes that.
Yep.
So, yeah, the acting is great. The script, for the most part, is fantastic. I've got very few sort of story quibbles with the movie, honestly.
Right. The main villain is threatening enough to be credible, bland enough not to take away from everything else around him. And is clearly a pawn of a greater power right from the beginning.
Yes. No, and he's a great sort of origin movie villain, honestly,
Yep.
because it's an origin movie. It has to be about Strange.
Yep.
Um,
But it's
and
also about Mordo, who is another part of Strange's rogues gallery.
eventually, yes, yeah. More shock of shocks, Mordo goes evil.
Yeah. With a name like that, what did you think was going to happen?
And I will say this, despite the fact that the character of the apprentice, the guy whose name escapes me, and it's not that important. Uh, the character he's not that interesting a character in a lot of ways, like in the way he's written. But this is saved entirely by the fact that Mads Mikkelsen is amazing in the role.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god! It's like
No,
yeah,
he works wonders with the script.
like
and
it's
yeah.
it's a limited character, but Mads Mikkelsen does a great job with it. Just um, and yeah, Cumberbatch, as we said, is fantastic.
Yep.
Hang on.
The guy that plays Mordo, I've seen him a bunch of stuff. I can never remember his name.
I'm looking his name up right now because he's really fucking good.
Yeah, he's great. I've loved him in all sorts of stuff. His big breakout role was the Firefly movie, and he's done a lot of other stuff since then. And he's great in everything he does.
Yeah. As Chiwetel Ejiofor. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry.
Right.
He's phenomenal. And the apprentice dude's name is Kaisalis, I think. But yeah, he was phenomenal in Serenity. He was phenomenal in The Martian, from what I understand. I haven't seen that yet.
Yep.
Gotta watch that.
I need to see The Martian also.
But
But he's done a lot of guest stuff in different shows and whatnot. The dude's good. He's got the chops.
he's a phenomenal actor. He's great.
Yeah.
He should be in more stuff. Honestly, he's
I
great.
think part of the reason he doesn't have better name recognition is because his name's hard to pronounce.
Yeah, there's that. He just doesn't. I don't. He just doesn't get enough stuff though. Like in sort of the big spotlight. He's phenomenal. He deserves more. Excuse me. He deserves more work. Honestly, he's great. You know, Rachel McAdams does a great job with Christine Palmer, Doctor Strange's girlfriend. She's she's an ER surgeon. She's great. It's a good character, but it's not on screen a ton. But she does a great job with it whenever she's on screen.
Yep.
Benedict Wong is
Great.
he was
Again, a really limited character, but great.
And we have to talk about Tilda Swinton as the
Yes.
Ancient One. And this is one of the big contention points in Doctor Strange, and I completely understand it.
Yeah.
Uh,
The Ancient One in the source material is a wizened old Asian.
Right, and it's a Tibetan order. It's set in in Tibet, in the Himalayas, and
Yep.
here's Tilda Swinton, about as white a woman as you can get. Now,
Yeah, they actually say she's she's Celtic.
she's Celtic. The character's Celtic,
Yeah.
which is again fine, whatever. I actually get and kind of agree with the sort of the why did you make this character a white person? It's like I have literally zero problem making the Ancient One a female character. Whatever, fine. That works great. You couldn't have found an Asian actress to play the part, like a good Asian actress.
Part of my thing was I looked at the thing when our casting was announced and thought, guys, it's Tilda fucking Swinton. They said, we got Tilda fucking Swinton. Fuck it, we'll make it a white chick. Who cares? Kind of like they did with Idris Elba and Heimdall. It's Idris Elba. Who the fuck cares if he's black?
Yeah, I actually.
Then I started learning about like the politics behind it, and I was like, oh, this is largely just to make it so China isn't pissed off.
That's a large part of it. If they had the character be Tibetan,
yeah,
it wouldn't have done as well in China. It
Yep.
been an issue for China. That sucks.
That really
Because
does suck.
there are a bunch of great Asian actresses who would have been absolutely brilliant in the role.
Yep.
That said,
I agree.
it's Tilda fucking Swinton. She's fantastic.
And she's she's doing what she does, honestly, which is be awesome. I've never seen a role where she phoned
She's
it in.
incredible. I adore her.
I pretty much everyone else, every other actor I've liked, I've seen roles where they phone it in and don't care. I've never seen her and Ron Perlman, and I played Roy Batty. Why can't I remember his name?
Oh, Rutger Hauer.
Rutger Hauer. Those are the characters I've never seen phone it in, and both Ron Perlman and Rutger Hauer have done some real shit movies.
Oh, lordy, have they?
I think Tilda Swinton just is better at picking her movies than they are.
Yeah. But yeah, she was incredible. But it's one of those, I totally, like, I see both sides of the argument. I really do.
I also see both sides of the argument. I can also see the argument. It's like, oh, look, it's another wise Asian. Why don't you just play into the stereotype, guys? Because I see that too, and it was a no-win situation. And it's just, if it's simply been because we got Tilda Swinton, let's make her the Ancient One, we think she'd do great in that role, fine. But then you have the whole politics of China and the money being the bottom line there. That's shit.
Yeah, it's also saved to a degree by making Carmitage so diverse.
Yes.
That helps a lot.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that Mordo is a black dude.
Yep.
You know, and there are people from all over the world there, and that helps a lot. It's like, yeah, okay, I can see how, in this case, given the way they're representing Carmitage, I can see how a Celtic woman, could have ended up as the Ancient One.
Yep.
Sure.
Like the Sanctum in New York is headed by an Asian dude, if I remember correctly.
I think so. Yeah, it is.
Who's clearly from like somewhere on the continent. Like he is not just he's not just happened to be a Chinese dude that grew up in New York.
Right. It's
so the diversity in all the sanctums is important, and is a thing. But yeah, no, I really liked the movie. I thought it was great. When the whitewashing turned out to be actual whitewashing, I was really disappointed in Marvel.
Yeah, I was too. That said, they nailed Doctor Strange.
Yeah, they knocked it out of the park.
They nailed they nailed what they were trying to. I'm shocked they did it. It was. I don't know how they did it. I honestly don't. They
made a Jack Kirby on acid source material and made it work again.
Oh. So yeah, I think we both fucking love this movie.
Yep.
I'm probably gonna watch it again at some point just so I can marvel at some of the details. And you know, then there was. By the way, were there two post-credit scenes? There was definitely one. I don't remember if there was a second. There was the one post-credit scene which I remember and was made me giddy.
With Thor.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the post credits, I just love I love the image of there's Thor in Doctor Strange's like parlor basically. Oh, Mordo's got the other post credit bit. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, Mordo proving he's a villain.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, it's just Thor there, not sort of like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of tea. Doctor Strange turning the tea into beer, a never-ending beer mug. I want this.
And Thor sort of nodding appreciatively.
But it's just like Strange. I love Strange's little model. Like it's like, yeah, I keep tabs on extra dimensional, extra planar, mystical beings that could cause serious problems for this world and New York. Your brother is very high on that list.
A worthy addition.
Then why did you bring him to my city? And then
We're looking for our father, Odin. We think he might be here. So you'll go home if you find Odin? Yeah. Let's go!
And my reaction was, I want this movie right now. I want to watch it right now.
That sounds like just the best buddy cop movie ever.
I want a movie watching Doctor Strange, Thor, and Loki going around New York looking for Odin. Hell, I just want to watch a movie with Benedict Cumberbatch, Chris... Chris... I can't remember his name all of a sudden. Thor. I'm terrible. Hemsworth. Yeah, with Cumberbatch, Hemsworth, and
Hiddleston.
And Tom Hiddleston. I want to watch those three acting together on screen as those characters.
Yes.
Like, honestly, I love Hemsworth as Thor. I love Thor, but I would almost be okay with it just being Doctor Strange and Loki. Yeah, specifically the movie version of Loki, because Gav in the chat says,
honest, like, the movie version of Loki is the best version of.
I would agree with that, actually. Our friend Gav in the chat says he wants to see Strange versus Stark.
They would never fight. They'd be too busy complimenting each other on their beards.
No. They would never.
Facial hair bros.
They would never stop arguing.
You're probably right.
Also, I would love to see Doctor Strange take Tony Stark down about 5 pegs.
I would love to see. Oh wow, just the two of them sniping at each other with poor friggin' Bruce Banner stuck in the middle. Because I could totally see Bruce getting along with both of them.
There is a wonderful, wonderful comic of Doctor Strange and Dr. Hank McCoy, aka Beast from the X-Men.
Yes.
Getting involved in the same extra-dimensional planetary bullshit. And it largely involves the two of them romping around through the dimensions, arguing about magic versus technology.
Yep. And it's great. One of us is right. The other one is covered in blue fur. One of us is right. The other one is wearing stupid pajamas.
But they never stop, like, actually getting along and working together, and it's brilliant.
Right. It's good-natured sniping on both sides.
Right. Because, Strange, while arrogant, is at this point a good guy.
Yep.
And Beast is one of the nicest people in the Marvel universe.
Yep.
Also one of the smartest.
Yes.
And
Beast is awesome. It's a shame he showed up in X-Men 3.
But Kelsey Grammer he was actually one of the few good things in X-Men 3.
Yeah, he did. And I can't think of anyone I would rather see do Beast than Kelsey Grammer. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's sadly, a shame it was a shit movie.
Really, 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 really fucking bad. Yeah. But yes, but that comic was great. But it would be a very different interaction between Strange and Stark. Because, especially like modern, current versions of Stark, and just less so the movie version of Stark. He's less colossally awful than he is in the comic books these days.
Yep.
That's not saying much though. But like Robert Downey Jr.'s Stark is a great character and fascinating and interesting, and oh god, he can't admit he's wrong.
Yep.
There's a room in the world larger containing those clashing egos. Pretty much, Gav.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which, I would totally, I could totally see them just sniping at each other. And occasionally getting slightly out of hand, and then, Bruce just going, guys, calm down. And they're both going, sorry, Bruce.
Well, Stark would be saying sorry, Bruce, and Strange would be saying sorry, Dr. Banner.
Yeah.
Because that's, entirely how he's wired.
Yep.
At any rate, I think that mostly covers what I want to talk about. I mean, I love the movie. I had a lot of fun with it. Just, oh, we should before we go, we should talk about some of the visuals.
Yes.
Just the way that the fight scenes and watching how they're manipulating the dimensions and the city folding in on itself, and wow.
And the way they summon the various weapons, like these sort of shimmer and distortion in the air that is a blade, like
Yeah.
that stuff you could. I love that stuff, and it's the kind of how I always sort of imagined like telekinetic magics, and never was something that you've seen on screen before. Like that's how I summon my telekinetic sword. Ba-doom! And it's just this shivering bit of hardened air.
It's really freaking cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, the shots of just the city sort of rolling and unrolling around itself.
And like giant clockwork carpet.
It's incredible.
Yes.
Oh my god, it should. If nothing else with the movie as a visual just sort of spectacle.
Yeah.
Wow. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, if nothing else, watch the movie just for that, honestly. I'm kicking myself for missing it in the theater.
I know. I wish I'd seen it on the big screen, but I knew what I was getting into, and I knew it when I put it off. I knew I was going to regret it, so I'm okay with it. But I knew that if it was good, I was going to be kicking myself, I should say.
Right.
Wow. It's a fun. It's all. The other thing is, it's a fun movie. It really is.
Yeah. Well, Marvel doesn't really do bad movies. They occasionally do movies that are fun, but not necessarily good. Looking at you, both Thors.
Yeah. Not a big fan of Iron Man 2 either.
Iron Man 2 is probably their worst one, honestly.
It's either that or either that or the Ed Norton Hulk movie.
Yeah.
The sort of official Marvel Studios movies. You could make the argument about that Hulk movie versus the Ang Lee Hulk movie, which is better, or which is less bad, I should say, in some ways, for most people's opinion.
Right.
I'm actually something of a staunch defender of the Ang Lee Hulk movie for most of the movie. I cannot defend the last 15 minutes. I won't try. The ending of that movie is awful. That last 15...
Yeah.
What?
It's like, well, what just happened? Why are you doing this? Like, just end it with like Bruce like powering down in the middle of the street. Also, there was some pretty terrible CG in the Ang Lee Hulk movie.
Yeah, the puppies, they were not good.
The puppies, just some of the boning in the Hulk actually. Just yeah. There are a couple other things. I could see what he was doing with the moving panels.
I loved that personally, but I
think it's a neat idea, but I also completely understand like how it could drive someone fucking nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed most of that movie. So, but yeah, but that's gonna do it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. So we record most Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern here on twitch.tv/MechaGM. If you got feedback for us, we love getting feedback. So you can send that to us at surlygrognards@yahoo.com, surlygrognards@yahoo.com. Or you can post a comment in the YouTube section. We really appreciate that. If you got questions for us, we love answering viewer questions. We don't have that many of them right now. We do have one or two that we didn't get to today. Or if we get enough of them, we'll do a whole show of it. Email same place or in the YouTube comments. Or if you've got show topic suggestions. We adore show topic suggestions, so please send those to us.
We really do.
Yep. Other than that, though, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.
Bye.